Now on CoastTV News.
Property taxes under the spotlight. Delaware lawmakers announced public hearings to push for fairness and transparency. Boating costs on the rise. Maryland hikes registration fees for the first time in 42 years. Violence at worship. Michigan police identify man behind church shooting.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. Tracking some patchy fog this morning. Temperatures are in the 60s. A lot of clouds to start the week, plus the latest on where Umberto and Imelda are heading.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. Thank you for being up with us during our 6 o'clock hour on this Monday morning. Well, I'm sure we're all wondering how long the warm temperatures will last as this is officially fall. Chris, that first week of fall is a little bit of a trick, but our director Cody has mentioned snow. No, Cody, we're not ready for that.
I know who my snow lovers are. Not seen any snow yet. Still have some time for that. But yes, it's been a warm and rather humid stretch of weather here over the course of the last week as we take a live look into Ocean View. Some high, thin clouds there. We're at 64 degrees. Not much in the way of fog there. We're pretty dry as far as any precipitation is concerned. We're seeing a few showers and some drizzle push into the southern portion of the peninsula. Other than that, we should stay pretty dry but cloudy as we see cloud cover. There's a cold front to our north. High pressure is really going to suppress this moisture from both of these tropical cyclones that we've been telling you about, Imelda and Humberto. So really all we're going to see from these systems is clouds. But we're also going to see an influence in coastal impacts, really dangerous surf and potential coastal flooding as we go into the day on Wednesday. But we stay dry, and then yes, that autumn-like feel will be back as we go into the late part of the week. Now, visibility not too much of an issue this morning. We've seen, again, some patchy fog and some of those back roads in those areas, so use some caution this morning. We're at 59 in Redden, 60 Gumboro, 66 in Rehoboth Beach. So aside from the patchy fog this morning, we'll stay dry. Temperatures beginning lower to mid 60s as we go into the afternoon. A lot of cloud cover, especially a lot of high clouds throughout the area today, with temperatures rising into the mid to upper 70s. Coming up, we'll talk more about Umberto and Imelda and those nice cool fall-like temperatures late in the week. Elisa.
All right, thank you, Chris. And as Chris just mentioned, areas all across Delmarva are facing fog this morning. This is a look at inland in Georgetown. That area is US 113 at the intersection of US 9. So far, looking like visibility is clear. Our top story this half hour, Delaware lawmakers are set to host 4 public hearings this fall to discuss property reassessment. The committee says its goal is to bring more transparency to the process and explore ways to make it more fair for taxpayers. The first of the hearings is set for September 30th. They will continue on October 7th, October 21st, and November 4th. Those meetings are to be held at Legislative Hall in Dover, all starting at 9:30 a.m. And you may remember in August, Governor Matt Meyer signed a series of bills aimed at combating property reassessment. The bills passed after an hours-long special session that month. According to Governor Meyer, the legislation creates fairer tax rates, gives homeowners flexible payment plans, and even provides refunds to people who overpaid. Lawmakers say the changes will also keep school funding intact. However, at a press conference, Republican leaders expressed concern over what they call a rushed process, with rules suspended to introduce and vote on bills in the same day. This just in, big changes are coming to Delaware's DMV fees. According to the state, beginning Wednesday, October 1st, DMV fees will rise. This includes a 1% increase in the document fee for vehicle transactions. DelDOT says to renew your driver's license, locals will now be charged $50. New specialty plate requests will incur a fee of $200. According to the agency, there is set to be a new annual registration fee for more than 48,000 alternative fuel vehicles in the state. Those fees could cost up to $900 depending on the vehicle. A heads up for Maryland voters this week starting Wednesday, October 1st. Title and registration fees are going up for the first time in 42 years. This is according to the Maryland Department of Natural Resources. The standard boat registration fee will rise from $24 to $70 every 2 years. There's also a voluntary $12 registration for non-motorized vessels like canoes and kayaks, allowing Natural Resource Police to easily identify owners in case of emergencies. The new fees address rising administrative costs and will help fund boating services and law enforcement. Changes could be coming to Delaware state park fees, and the public is being asked to weigh in. Denmark says it will host 3 open houses starting Tuesday, September 30th through Thursday, October 2nd. Possible changes could be an impact fee schedule for daily entrance, annual, and lifetime passes. According to Denmark, park fees have not increased since 2015, even as operating costs have gone up more than 120%. In Sussex County, people can head to the Officers Club at Cape Henlopen State Park Wednesday at 5:30. Developing news, Michigan police are continuing to investigate after a shooter opened fire at a church Sunday morning. According to police, the shooter has been identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford and was shot and killed by officers on scene. Just before 10:30 a.m. at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township, police say the 40-year-old drove his vehicle through the front doors of the church before shooting at people. Officials believe he also set the church on fire. Worshippers instantly shifting to heroes trying to protect one another.
We're shielding the children who are also present within the church, moving them to safety. Just hundreds of people just practicing their faith. Just extreme courage.
Teams have been working around the clock, sifting through the charred rubble, searching for not only evidence, but church members that are still missing after the attack. New in Milford, some communities will be without power later this month as the city makes upgrades to its electric system. The City of Milford Electric Department says the planned outage will take place Saturday, October 25th from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. The city says people can prepare by charging devices, keeping flashlights handy, and planning for food and medical needs. According to the city, the work is needed to improve reliability and safety. And to see if your community will be impacted by the temporary outage, you can head to the article on CoastTV.com. A major shoreline protection project is now underway near Rehoboth Beach. The Delaware Center for the Inland Bays says it has started construction on the Thompson Island Living Shoreline Project in partnership with Denmark, Delaware State Parks, and the Nanacoke Indian Tribe. Crews are installing about a 400-wave attenuation device in shallow water to reduce erosion, calm waves, and improve habitat for fish, shellfish, and aquatic plants. The agency says Thompson Island is a part of the Delaware Seashore State Park and holds cultural importance for the Nanacoke Indian Tribe. Dewey Beach is considering changes after its monthly town council meeting. The issues that are top of mind include another look at beach canopy rules and funding for the new 3-story town hall. Dewey already posted signs and warning tags for canopies left unattended before 9 a.m. and commissioners say things have improved, but only slightly. They discussed restrictions like limiting canopy size, keeping them near the fence, and making sure lifeguard paths stay clear. And the town council is moving forward with 2 fundraisers for the new town hall, according to Dewey Beach. One involves selling bricks for a walkway at $300 each, with a goal of raising $500,000. The other is an interactive donor wall with giving levels starting at $2,500. The overall goal is to raise $1 million, and they're already off to a strong start. Dewey's council says a generous donor made a $200,000 donation. We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. with just 2 full days before a government shutdown. President Trump and the top 4 congressional leaders will meet today. And new overnight, it comes after the president abruptly canceled a meeting with only Democratic leaders last week. At the time, the president called Democrats' demands ridiculous. Democrats are pushing for more money for health care, and NBC's Alice Barr shows us how government leaders are working against the clock.
A critical meeting today in the race to prevent a government shutdown tomorrow night at midnight. President Trump sitting down with the top 4 congressional leaders in both parties as Democrats press to negotiate for their support.
You don't do this by one party putting together a completely partisan bill and saying take it or leave it.
House Republicans already passed a short-term spending bill, but it needs votes from Democrats to succeed in the Senate.
What the Democrats have done here is take the federal government as a hostage.
Democrats pointing the finger at Republicans and holding out to reverse health care cuts and extend subsidies set to expire at the end of the year.
Americans should not see their health care suffer, their premiums spike, and people lose insurance and providers close.
Adding to the stakes, the White House alerting federal agencies that mass layoffs are coming, in addition to the typical furloughs, if the government does shut down. President Trump saying in an interview with NBC News, quote, "We are going to cut a lot of the people," and that it would be on a permanent basis, though he said he would rather not. Democrats calling it a scare tactic.
They're doing it anyway. There's no shutdown. They're laying off all these people.
It's a burden that can easily be avoided if the Democrats will just apply common sense and do the right thing.
All as federal workers wait to see if they'll be paid and if services are disrupted for the American people. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today. We still have a lot more news to get to. Coming up, lifeguards leave for the season. We'll tell you what to know now that the Beach Patrol has left the stands in Ocean City. And Coast business closings, we'll tell you how locals are reacting to major chain restaurants saying goodbye in Rehoboth Beach. And stock investments soar. We'll tell you what financial experts say about the sudden boom on Wall Street. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend as we take a live look into Laurel. You can see the high clouds there and some fog there off to the just to the bottom of our camera there. 62 degrees in Laurel, so it is a mild start to our day. And we're going to see plenty of clouds through the morning as we get to a 72 by around 10 this morning. A lot of the fog we're seeing is very low lying. A lot in the back, a lot of back roads seeing some fog this morning as well. We're at 66 in Rehoboth, 62 Millsboro, and 59 in Wren. A few sprinkles there far southern parts of Delmarva, but a lot of clouds today and cooler temperatures. We had that warm end to the week. Temperatures were in the 70s over the weekend. Well, today we're going to generally be in the mid to upper 70s under cloudy skies. Can't rule out an isolated shower far southern reaches of the peninsula, but for the most part we stay dry, and then we turn a bit windy as we go into the day on Tuesday into Wednesday. We'll talk more about that and the latest on Humberto and Imelda in the next half hour. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Happening today, a road closure to watch out for in Ellendale. DelDOT says North Old State Road will be shut down between Route 16 and Fleetown Road. The closure is expected to last through October 10th. The agency says crews will be removing an old crossroad pipe and installing 2 new ones to help with storm water drainage. A Harrington man is facing charges after Delaware State Police say he was arrested for vehicular assault, DUI, and related charges after a crash in Greenwood. Troopers say it happened just after 11 p.m. Friday on Hickman Road. DSP has identified the driver as 27-year-old Ivory Brown. Investigators say Brown's SUV went off the road, flipped multiple times, and ejected 2 passengers. Troopers say the 2 adults from Milford were taken to the hospital. The other passengers, 2 19-year-old men and a 6-year-old child, also taken to the hospital with injuries. Troopers say Brown showed signs of impairment. When it comes to money, many Americans are choosing to invest in the stock market. Information from the Federal Reserve shows 45% of households' financial assets in the second quarter of this year were invested in stocks. The Fed's data shows this is the highest investment in stocks than ever before. Economists say while many Americans might be happy about their holdings, they see potential problems. They say a market downturn could hit American finances pretty hard, in part because it comes at a time when the labor market is fragile and inflation is still sticking around. Video game giant Electronic Arts is reportedly in talks to go private. The Wall Street Journal is reporting the deal would be valued at about $50 billion. That would make it the largest leveraged buyout in history, according to the Journal. Jared Kushner's private equity firm would be among the investors. Kushner is President Trump's son-in-law. Electronic Arts is behind the franchises like Madden, The Sims, and FIFA.
Well, we're seeing temperatures in the low to mid 60s this morning with some patchy fog on parts of Delmarva. A lot of cloud cover today as we'll see highs in the mid to upper 70s. How does Humberto and Imelda impact our weather over the next few days? I'll have the answer when Coast TV News Today continues.
The time is now 6:18 and we are taking a live look outside at Lewis this morning. A very foggy morning along the coast. Chris, you were talking about rough surf, though. That is the concern at a lot of our beaches now that they are unguarded.
Yeah, you know, you're really going to have to pay close attention over the next few days, really through most of the week. We've been telling you about Hurricane Humberto and Imelda, how those two systems are going to impact our weather. Well, most of the impacts are going to be over the water at the coast. Not expecting much in the way of moisture, believe it or not, from these systems. As far as fog goes this morning, use some caution this morning. Nothing all that widespread, but a lot of those are notorious places seeing some fog this morning. We're at 62 in Lewis, so it's a rather calm start. Temperature's not too bad this morning. We're at 59 in Harrington, 62 Milton, 60 Delmar, and we're at 62 in Salisbury. You can see the wind flow north-northeast. Winds are pretty calm for now, but they're going to be picking up by tomorrow into Wednesday. Good news, though, we do have some autumn-like air. It arrives Wednesday towards the end of the week. Look at those dew points falling into the 40s and 50s, and it's going to feel very good by mid to late week. Now, we have a few stray sprinkles, showers pushing over the bay into Accomack County. For the most part, we're dry. If anyone's going to see an isolated shower, it's going to be the southern portion of the peninsula. High pressure building in, cold front sinking southward, and we have a lot of players on the board here. We have the high pressure to the north. We have a stalled out front. You can see that moisture being enhanced along the Carolina coast from the outflow of what is Tropical Storm Imelda there over the Bahamas. So both of these systems are going to stay well our south. So aside from an isolated shower today, we're going to stay pretty dry through the week. Small craft advisories are up along the coast, and these are probably going to get upgraded to gale warnings as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. Plenty of cloud cover today with highs mid to upper 70s. Futurecast shows cloudy skies, a lot of mid to high level clouds, northeast wind flow. It's going to be a cloudy night. Mild falling into the mid-60s, and then more clouds into Tuesday with highs once again in the 70s. The good news is we start off Wednesday cloudy, but that cloud deck then sinks southward as we go into Wednesday afternoon. Winds really pick up Tuesday night through Wednesday, gusting as high as 25 to 35. Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon, gusting as high as 40 miles an hour out of the northeast, and that could prompt some coastal flooding issues through high tide. Here is our brother and sister storms in the Atlantic. Hurricane Humberto, very rare to have two storms like this in the Atlantic simultaneously this close. Tropical Storm Imelda over the Bahamas. The stronger of the storm, the stronger of the two is Humberto. That's going to curve out to sea as we go into Wednesday. Imelda is going to become a hurricane into Tuesday, but the strong push of Humberto is actually going to pull Imelda out to sea. We also have this big area of high pressure keeping these systems to our south. So the difference between the high and these tropical systems to our south is going to lead to that push of water and wind off the ocean. So that could lead to some coastal flooding. Dangerous surf. You're going to want to stay out of the water Tuesday through Friday, as we're going to be dealing with swells as high as 5 to 9 feet into middle part of the week. We're at 78 today, isolated shower primarily south, 65 overnight, mostly cloudy. Again, can't rule out a shower to the south. A cloudy Tuesday, breezy conditions develop at the coast, windy as we go into Wednesday, but skies do clear as we go into Wednesday afternoon, and then some nice cool crisp air late week. 68, mostly sunny skies through the weekend, and then we'll gradually see a warming trend back into the mid to upper 70s late weekend. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Well, if you like coffee or beer, you lost a pair of places to grab a drink in Rehoboth Beach. Iron Hill Brewery in the city has abruptly shut its doors, and the Rehoboth Avenue Starbucks is also closing. CoastTV News spoke with employees from both shops. The common word used by both about these closures is shocked.
It's communities who have a hub, a little third space to gather. So, you know, it almost feels selfish to both workers and customers, which, you know, this is like what they try to prioritize, customers.
It was really upsetting because I see these people like every week. I'm here every week. And it's upsetting that a lot of them also relied on this job.
If you want to find out if your Starbucks is closing, they say you can go on the Starbucks app under the next week's hours. If there are no hours listed for that location, it has been closed. Up next on CoastTV News today, lifeguards leave for the season. We'll tell you how locals are reacting as beach patrol season comes to an end. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Dragging the stands away until next season, the Ocean City Beach Patrol is done guarding the beach until next summer, leaving swimmers to take on the waves themselves. CoastTV's Kevin DePay shows us how locals are reacting.
Summer came and went, and the Ocean City Beach Patrol is following suit. They're cleaning up the stands and putting them away until next season. Vacationer Eric Fosnot says he won't go too far into the water without lifeguards on duty.
If there's lifeguards present, I'll go till they blow the whistle. But if there's nobody around, waist deep.
The Ocean City Beach Patrol posted Monday announcing the end of coverage for the season, reminding beachgoers to stay alert and watch out for the rip currents. A danger that kept lifeguards busy all summer. This season alone, the Ocean City Beach Patrol carried out over 3,500 rescues along the 10-mile stretch of shoreline, highlighting just how important their presence is.
That's tremendous. That's 3,500 people that you don't know if they were gonna make it or not. And yeah, I mean, it's well worth having them here.
Jason Boyd has been surfing his whole life, and he has advice for anyone caught in a rip current without lifeguards around.
Stay on top and swim sideways. Don't swim in and fight yourself. Just let it float you out, but go direct, horizontal with the beach until you're not getting sucked down anymore.
So if you plan to head into the water, be prepared to take on the waves yourself, because these beaches are now officially unguarded.
And it's a cloudy day at many of our beaches, but many people may still want to go into the water, Chris, as it is not cold yet, but this is a concern. As we just saw, many of our beaches are unguarded, and you were talking about dangerous surf.
Yeah, we have those two tropical cyclones that are stayed to our south, and we're going to have strong northeast winds that are going to be developing over the course of the next few days. And yeah, we're going to have some very dangerous surf and swells that are going to be kicking up along the Delmarva coast beginning tomorrow. We're at 62 right now in Lewis. Pretty calm out there. Some high, thin clouds rolling in. We have a moderate risk today. Waves 2 to 3 feet, but we could have waves as high as 5 to 9 feet develop, especially from Ocean City southward through the afternoon tomorrow and into Wednesday. Lewis, a lot of clouds today. Temperatures generally in the mid to upper 70s. Cambridge starting off with a bit of sun, but quickly clouding up through the afternoon with highs generally in the mid to upper 70s along the mid-shore. Lloyd Unseld Jr., Delmar, Delaware, you're the winner of our Coast TV weather umbrella, and you get your forecast anytime by dialing our First Alert weather phone, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalas Federico. I'll have the latest on both of those tropical systems coming up in the next half hour. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. And after the break on Coast TV News today, large shutdown looming, how Republicans and Democrats are fighting against the clock to avoid a government shutdown. And prepare for power outage, what locals in Milford need to know about a planned outage taking place next month. And focus on park fees, we'll tell you how you can give your input on possible changes at Delaware State Parks. Coast TV News today. We'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Property taxes under the spotlight. Delaware lawmakers announced public hearings to push for fairness and transparency. Boating costs on the rise. Maryland hikes registration fees for the first time in 42 years. Violence at worship. Michigan police identify man behind church shooting.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. Tracking some patchy fog this morning. Temperatures are in the 60s. A lot of clouds to start the week, plus the latest on where Umberto and Imelda are heading.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. It is 6:30 on this Monday morning, September 29th. Hard to believe there's 2 days left in September. Chris, the summer feels so long ago, yet it doesn't feel long ago. I don't even know anymore.
No, I hear you. August flew by, and I'll tell you what, it's been feeling like summer over the past week or so with well above average temperatures and that mugginess we just can't seem to get rid of. Beautiful shot here into Laurel. You can see those thin cirrus clouds, the sun trying to break through them. Sunrise at 6:55. You can see some of the fog there. On the ground, 61 in Laurel, so it is not too bad of a start. Temperatures, some areas in the upper 50s. Visibility hasn't been a widespread issue this morning, so use some caution through sunrise. We're at 66 Rehoboth, 66 Bethany, 62 Millsboro, and 62 in Salisbury. We're pretty dry for most of Delmarva. We've seen a few sprinkles and showers trying to push in across portions of Accomack County off the Atlantic and into the Bay. That's going to be the zone to see an isolated shower really today or over the next 24 to 48 hours. hours. Most of this moisture from both of these tropical cyclones is going to stay to our south. This high pressure system is really protecting us from any of this moisture progressing further north, and we also have a stalled out frontal boundary there across the Carolinas. So a lot of clouds to start the week. We stay pretty dry, mild and muggy. But as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, we see strong winds start at the coast, and that could lead to some coastal flooding. Dangerous swells and rip currents are going to be developing as we go into the day tomorrow and really kind of hanging on through the week, through Friday at least. 64 to start this morning with that patchy fog, and then by this afternoon, a lot of clouds in play. Moderate risk of rip currents today with winds out of the northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Coming up, we'll talk more about some gusty conditions developing at the coast over the next few days and the latest on Umberto and Imelda coming up in a little bit. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. And we are now taking a live look outside at Ocean City this morning to take a look at the fog conditions. Our camera visibility pretty decent this morning, but again, just be careful as you are driving to your destinations. Our top story this half hour, Delaware lawmakers are set to host 4 public meetings this fall to discuss property reassessment. The committee says its goal is to bring more transparency to the process and explore ways to make more fair for taxpayers. The first of the hearings is set for September 30th. They will continue on October 7th, October 21st, and November 4th. Those meetings are going to be held at Legislative Hall in Dover, starting at 9:30 a.m. This just in, big changes are coming to Delaware's DMV fees. According to the state, beginning Wednesday, October 1st, DMV fees will rise. This includes a 1% increase in the document fee for vehicle transactions. DELDOT says in order to renew your driver's license, locals will now be charged $50. New specialty plate requests will incur a fee of $200. According to the agency, there is set to be a new annual registration fee for more than 48,000 alternative fuel vehicles in the state. Those fees could cost up to $900 depending on the vehicle. Changes could be coming to Delaware State Park fees, and the public is being asked to weigh in. Denrick says it will host 3 open houses starting Tuesday, September 30th through Thursday, October 2nd. Possible changes could impact the schedule for daily entrance and annual and lifetime passes. According to Denrick, impact fees have not increased since 2015, even as operating costs have gone up more than 120%. In Sussex County, people can head to the Officers Club at Cape Henlopen State Park on Wednesday at 5:30. New in Milford, some communities will be without power later this month as the city makes upgrades to its electric system. The City of Milford Electric Department says a planned outage will take place Saturday, October 5th from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. The city says people can repair by charging devices, keeping flashlights handy, and planning for food and medical needs. According to the city, the work is needed to improve reliability and safety. A major shoreline protection project is now underway near Rehoboth Beach. The Delaware Center for the Inland Bays says it has started construction on the Thompson Island Living Shoreline Project in partnership with Denrick, Delaware State Parks, and the Nanacoke Indian Tribe. Crews are installing about 400 wave attenuation devices in shallow water to reduce erosion, calm waves, and improve habitat for fish, shellfish, and aquatic plants. The agency says Thompson Island is a part of the Delaware Seashore State Park and holds cultural importance for the Nanacoke Indian Tribe. New overnight, at least 4 worshipers are dead, 8 more injured after an attack during a Sunday service at a church in the township of Grand Blanc, Michigan. NBC's Jay Gray shows us what police are revealing about the tragedy overnight.
Overnight, federal agents, police, and firefighters continuing to work the scene. Investigators searching the suspect's home. As a stunned community also searches for answers.
We have also witnessed the result of wicked rule in our county, state, and nation.
Flames and a spray of gunfire ripping through a Sunday service at a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan.
We heard a big bang and it blew the doors in the church, and then everything after that was chaos.
Chaos, leaving at least 4 dead, 8 injured, carried out, police say, by this man, 40-year-old ex-Marine Thomas Jacob Sanford.
He drove his vehicle through the front doors of the church. He then exited his vehicle, firing several rounds at individuals within the church.
Also, allegedly setting fire to the sanctuary, worshipers instantly shifting to heroes as the killing spree unfolds.
They were shielding the children who are also present within the church, moving them to safety. Just hundreds of people just practicing their faith. Just extreme courage.
The horrific attack ending as police rush in, fatally shooting the suspect in the church parking lot. Jay Gray, NBC News, Grand Blanc, Michigan.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. with just 2 full days before a government shutdown. President Trump and the top 4 congressional leaders will meet today. And this just in, a critical meeting today in the race to prevent a government shutdown tomorrow night at midnight. House Republicans already passed a short-term spending bill, but it needs votes from Democrats to succeed in the Senate. Democrats pointing the finger at Republicans and holding out to reverse health care cuts and extend subsidies set to expire at the end of the year.
What the Democrats have done here is take the federal government as a hostage.
Americans should not see their health care suffer, their premiums spike, and people lose insurance and providers close.
Adding to the stakes, the White House alerting federal agencies that mass layoffs are coming soon in addition to the typical furloughs. And we're just getting started in this final half hour of Coast TV News today. We still have a lot more news to get to. Coming up, Boeing back in the air, why the FAA is approving certain aircrafts after deadly crashes. And massive Milford food delivery, what's expected today at the Sussex County Resource and how large organizations say the donation is. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. I hope this morning is off to a fantastic start for you. Not doing too bad weather-wise as we take a live look into ocean view. Those thin cirrus clouds, sunrise 6:55 this morning. We're at 66 in ocean view. So a little sun to start, but quickly clouding up through the morning and afternoon with highs in the mid-70s along the coast. Some patchy fog possible through the next hour or so. Not seeing anything all that widespread. We're at 64 Milton, 60 Redden, 61 Delmarva. Seeing a few spotty sprinkles and showers making their way into southern Accomack County, but a cold front sinking southward is going to keep us pretty dry but cloudy through the day today. It was a warm end to the week in the 80s. We had temperatures in the mid to upper 70s over the weekend, and today we're going to be right in the mid to upper 70s. With cloud cover, mid to high level clouds across the area, northeast winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Coming up, we'll talk about some windy conditions developing along the coast over the next few days and the latest on Humberto and Imelda, where they're heading. I'll have the full forecast in a few minutes. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. A new McDonald's is opening on Delmarva. Today is the grand opening celebration in Ocean View. The new McDonald's, located on Atlantic Avenue, has already created up to 60 jobs. The company says it's giving back with a donation to the South Coastal Village volunteers. It's part of their ongoing commitment to growth and community in Sussex County. The History Book Festival returned to Lewis over the weekend for its 9th year. This year's festival had 20 author presentations from New York Times bestselling authors and award-winning journalists. It was supported by the Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice and the Delaware Historical Society. Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 4 o'clock, James M. Bennett hosts Pocomoke in field hockey. Then you can catch the final score at 10:30. On the DSN Plus app, you can watch that James M. Bennett Pocomoke field hockey game along with these exclusives. At 4 o'clock, West Nottingham takes on Greenwood Mennonite in boys soccer, and at 5:30, Chrisfield faces Colonel Richardson also in boys soccer. We are once again gearing up for the Bless Our Children campaign. Every year, Draper Media works to make the holiday season brighter for children on Delmarva. The money raised goes to charitable groups who then buy Christmas presents. Right now, we are accepting funding applications from those nonprofits through October 1st. You can find a link at blessourchildren.org. And if you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Well, despite a lot of clouds being forecasted here over the next few days, not expecting much in the way of rain. We're going to keep the mild mugginess in play with highs in the mid to upper 70s. We will talk about cooler autumn-like air finally making its way into Delmarva later on in the week. My full forecast right after the break.
The time is now 6:46 and we are taking a live look outside at Laurel this morning. We see a beautiful sunrise there, Chris. That is always a good sign on a Monday morning. We all need some sunshine to wake up.
I know. Yeah, it's Monday morning. That weekend blew by, didn't it?
It did.
I'll tell you what, we've seen some low clouds, some patchy fog across parts of Delmarva this morning. Nothing all that widespread. As far as temperatures go, it's not too bad. Temperatures in the low 60s, 64 into Lewis there. See those high cirrus clouds there in the distance. We're at 65, Bethany Beach 62, Georgetown 62 in Salisbury. Winds pretty calm at this hour. Northeasterly wind flow, and the winds are really going to begin picking up late tomorrow into Wednesday along the coast. Humidity, well, you just can't get rid of it, right? We're going to finally shed it. Looks like Wednesday through the end of the week as some cool, drier air finally makes its way into the area this fall season. We've seen a few sprinkles there across portions of Accomack County. That won't be a big deal. Could see an isolated shower across the southern half of Delmarva through the morning. Most of the day is going to be dry but cloudy, high pressure sinking southward, and is really going to be protecting us from these two tropical systems that we've been telling you about. How they were going to develop this week. A lot of players on the field. We have the stalled out front across the Carolinas. You can see the rain kind of getting enhanced from the outer flow from Imelda, which is still over the Bahamas. But you could see we're going to stay pretty dry through most of the week as high pressure builds in. Small craft advisories up for the Delmarva coast through about 6 o'clock on Tuesday. Highs today, 77 Lewis, 78 Milford, 80 Denton. If somebody hits 80, it's going to be northern midshore. Kent County, 78 Salisbury to 75 in Chickatie. Futurecast shows plenty of cloud cover through the afternoon today as we see that northeasterly wind flow. A lot of clouds overnight and a lot of clouds on Tuesday. The good news is that cloud deck will start to break apart and push southeastward as we go into Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, but the winds are really going to be picking up. As we go into late tomorrow, we could see winds as high as 30, 35 miles an hour, gusting as high as 35, 40 into Wednesday morning, and then the winds will slowly begin to subside as we go into Thursday. Well, here's our twin tropical cyclones. Very rare to get these two systems like this close in proximity in the Atlantic Basin. Hurricane Umberto, still a Category 4. Hurricane Imelda trying to get its act together there over the Bahamas. So what's going to happen here? The stronger of the two is Umberto. That's going to curve out to sea as we go into Wednesday. There's Imelda. It's going to curve out to sea into Tuesday, becoming a hurricane, but the Umberto is so strong that the outflow is going to actually take Imelda with Umberto out to sea, and also this massive dome of high pressure is suppressing all this moisture to the south. But you get the high to the north and these areas of low pressure to the south. That tight pressure gradient is going to cause that strong flow of wind, so that could promote some coastal flooding as we go into Wednesday, primarily with high tide. High pressure builds in late week, and the late week forecast is just absolutely phenomenal. 78 this afternoon, cloudy and mild with an isolated shower primarily to the south, and that threat of a shower this evening and overnight, not a big deal there as far as rain is concerned. 65, mostly cloudy. 76 for our Tuesday. Clouds from Imelda. Winds pick up at the coast Wednesday. 70, 68. Most of us stay in the 60s on Thursday with sunshine. And then we're mostly sunny into Friday. 70, and then a bit milder into the weekend with highs in the upper 70s. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. New this morning, Purdue Farms is marking Hunger Action Month with a donation to Milford. The company says it will deliver a tractor-trailer load of chicken to the Food Bank of Delaware as a part of its Fill the Food Gap initiative. The donation is aimed at tackling food insecurity across Delmarva. According to Purdue, Food Bank staff will use forklifts to unload the truck, while Purdue associates help load supplies for local pantry partners who will distribute the protein in their communities. This just in, the Federal Aviation Administration is once again allowing Boeing to certify the safety of some of its own aircrafts. In 2019, the FAA revoked Boeing's authority to issue airworthiness certificates for 737 MAX airplanes following 2 deadly crashes. The FAA made the same decision 3 years later for the 787 Dreamliners due to production quality issues. But on Friday, the FAA announced Boeing would be allowed to issue airworthiness certificates. The agency also said despite the changes, it would still maintain rigorous oversight of Boeing's production processes. And the time is now 6:51, and we're going to check in with our Coastal Pet of the Day. And today's Coastal Pet of the Day is a familiar face to our meteorologist. Loki, aka Mr. Chump, loves watching his Uncle Chris give the latest local forecast every morning. Loki lives with his family in New Jersey, and we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen, scan the QR code at the top of your screen to submit your furry friends to CoastTV News. Then, of course, watch weekdays like Loki from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all of the pets we feature. 54, and it's time for the things you need to know before you go. A heads up for Maryland boaters this week starting Wednesday, October 1st. Title and registration fees are going up for the first time in 42 years. That is according to the Maryland Department of Natural Resources. The standard boat registration fee will rise from $24 to $70 every 2 years. There's also a voluntary $12 registration for non-motorized vessels like canoes and kayaks, allowing natural resource police to easily identify owners in case of emergencies. The new fees address rising administrative costs and will help fund boating services and law enforcement. Changes could be coming to Delaware State Park fees, and the public is being asked to weigh in. Denmark says it will host 3 open houses starting Tuesday, September 30th through Thursday, October 2nd. Possible changes could impact fee schedule for daily entrance, annual and lifetime passes. According to Denmark, park fees have not increased since 2015, even as operating costs have gone up more than 120%. In Sussex County, people can head to the Officers Club at Cape Henlopen State Park Wednesday at 5:30. Dewey Beach is considering changes after its monthly town council meeting. The issues that are top of mind are another canopy beach rules and funding for a new 3-story town hall. Dewey already posted signs and warning tags for canopies left unattended before 9 a.m. And commissioners say while things have improved, there's only a slight difference. They discussed restrictions like limiting canopy size, keeping them near the fence, and making sure lifeguard paths stay clear. And the time is now 5:56, and we are going to take another look at our Monday forecast. Chris, it's still warm outside. It's not really feeling like fall, but that could change this week.
Yeah, we're going to see some nice, cool, dry air by mid to late week. Still dealing with that mugginess in the air. A lot of clouds throughout the day today. Temperatures rising mid to upper 70s. Could squeeze out an 80-degree temperature the northern part of the peninsula. And yes, that hair, well, we're going to have dew points today, generally upper 60s. So we're still dealing with the frizzy hair out there, and the humidity will be dropping big time as we go into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But we're dealing with a lot of clouds. Hurricane Imelda as well as Humberto stay well to our south through Tuesday and Wednesday. Could see some coastal flooding issues with high tide into Wednesday, but the surf is really going to be the issue. Dangerous rip currents develop Tuesday and really hang on through Friday, but boy, beautiful stretch of weather. Late Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, temperatures upper 60s to low 70s, and this upcoming weekend looking fantastic. We'll see a bit milder temperatures, 78 into Sunday, and then we're looking at highs in the lower 80s at the tail end of that 10-day forecast. Lisa.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Today. The Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m. Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11. And for even more news and coverage, you can count on download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Monday morning.